Over the past few weeks, there has been so much news surrounding localizers because people are finally calling every single little piece of terrible localization out on social media and bringing it to light for others who might not realize how many products are truly butchered. But now we're finding out that SEGA has updated their harassment policy after fans criticized the Like a Dragon localization. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube membership. So I wanted to start with this Niche Gamer article that says SEGA has updated their customer harassment policy, which some fans are construing as a response to recent criticism against the localization of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Now, there is a chance that, of course, they planned to do this months ago, that it just happened to line up now, and now is when it's being released. But it says the recently released title has left some fans extremely confused, whether that's comically miscast voice lines or just strange dialogue. And on top of it all, SEGA and Bandai just participated in a recent article with the Japan Times explaining the role of localization in selling their games. I did do a full video on that, and so it will be linked down below. But then they actually decided to retweet this article, so did Bandai, thinking that this was going to go over positively, that their localizers straight up admitting that they do force developers to censor content throughout the development process, like the Square Enix ethics department, that was going to go over well with consumers, and of course it did not. All of these companies got absolutely roasted, and over the past few weeks there has been much backlash surrounding localization. But it says that in the article, representatives from both companies appear to admit to making changes to their games for Western audiences, but SEGA at least seemed proud of their role in that article because of course they did retweet it, and the fan response has been swift, with comments under the Twitter post calling out SEGA's localization of the game and the approach towards localization promoted in the article. And then today, when this article went up, SEGA announced that they were updating their customer harassment policy. And even if this has been in the works for a while, the timing makes it seem as if it's the response to fan criticism. Yes, even if they months ago came up with this brand new big harassment policy update, they clearly released it now for a reason. Okay, these companies cannot deal with any criticism, and like I always say, and usually it's about individuals, if you are on social media, if you create content, and if you are ultimately creating something that people have to consume, you need to accept criticism, whether you are a localizer, whether you are a content creator like on YouTube or Twitter, or you are a giant company. You need to understand that people are allowed to criticize your content, and companies like SEGA just have been so upset that they cannot say whatever they want and people fight back. They are upset that people have such a voice at this point. It says we don't have a copy of the old policy, but a statement at the start of their new policy lends credibility to this assumption. However, following some recent harassment-related incidents towards our employees, we would like to take the following measures to ensure that our company employees and representatives can carry out their duties with peace of mind. And what is that? Recent harassment-related incidents, of course, the backlash to the localization of Infinite Wealth, and also the subsequent social media backlash that the company in totality has faced. And none of this would have happened if they simply understood their audience, if they understood the consumers that they already have, if they didn't add these cringe-worthy feminist lines into the dialogue, if they didn't add this insane auto-tune singing, if they just tried to, I don't know, make a full product that people earned experience unfairly and they weren't trying to sell you $200 of microtransactions by way of little level boosts or experience boosts. If they hadn't locked New Game Plus behind the more expensive versions of the game, a feature that has been in many of the other games, like if they had simply looked at all of these major mistakes and didn't commit even half of them, people would have been far happier with this product and with them as a company, and that's just not what they're doing. It also says an update here. A fan sent us an archive of the earlier customer harassment policy, and the new additions now appear to be as follows. Acts that cause severe emotional distress to or impose a burden on one of our employees by repeatedly using words or behavior, that words or actions that encourage or suggest self-harm, any other acts that which from the viewpoint of protecting our employees from harm or distress cause a severe emotional distress, fear, or any other act we consider to cause an unacceptable level of harm. So if I found one of their employees that worked on Infinite Wealth and I went and called them a bitch on Twitter/X, that would be against this policy. I mean, of course, we are talking about the internet here. So now that they have updated this policy, I'm sure that there are plenty of individuals who are tweeting at these employees way more frequently than they previously were, trying to get them upset, trying to build their block list and get these individuals to block them. And of course, I do not think that anyone's lives should be threatened. I do not think that we should be threatening these people in a way that makes them feel like they are unsafe in their real everyday lives. But we are talking about social media, and there are trolls on social media who are going to misgender these people because they find that to be such a terrible thing. Oh my god, you misgendered me! How could you do this? People saying, I really don't like your work. I tweeted at SEGA, or I sent your company an email talking about how much I don't like your work. Like, they find the smallest things to be offensive and bothersome, and of course, they're saying anything that they deem as, it could cause emotional distress or fear, what they consider to cause an unacceptable level of harm, which could mean the smallest, most minuscule things. But of course, again, over the past few weeks, people have definitely been fighting back against poor localization and also Infinite Wealth. This game has not really been going over all that perfectly with audiences. And as you can see over on Metacritic, the critics liked this game a lot. They gave it an 89, but the user score is currently sitting at a mixed of 7.2. So they're not terrible scores, but the 7.2 definitely is pretty low for this franchise. So yes, I don't see this Backlash dying down anytime soon. I do think that they are going to continue to be raked across the coals for every poor decision that is made and every disappointment that fans find, whether they purchase the game and they're playing through it themselves, or of course, clips go up on social media. But the fact that, companies like SEGA retweeted and promoted this Japan Times interview where they proudly admit to making changes to their games for Western audiences is not going to, be forgotten anytime soon. And it's just such a sad situation overall that these companies cannot handle any criticism, but they wouldn't even be facing half the backlash they are now if they actually listened to their consumers and tried to create genuinely good products. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.